Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of my competition, the contest entry for the fairytale competition with Frozendistrict. So we're literally at the beginning of the property and we're going to take a walk through. I've spent a lot of time doing the beginning of the garden and then it sort of devolves a little bit, but you can see there is a very faint path to follow. So we're going to take the path and then we can always explore the garden further, and the other garden as well needs a little bit of stuff thrown at it. So welcome, let's go take a walk. And I'm literally walking, as you can see. We have these posts. Each post has a little candle behind it, so it will be highlighted in night mode. If they want to have a look at it in night mode, you'll see there's a little flicker of flame behind each one. And if we peek through here, you will see there's a pond. You can see the water reflected there underneath the trees, and there's another pond just behind it. And if you look carefully through the shrubs, you'll actually see the house there. So we'll carry on going. Another little flame. And a couple of toadstools on the path. Again, another little light. There's a little light there as well. And if we look this way, you'll see the rocks right the way around the garden. These walls and these rocks. So once you're in, the only way to get out is to follow the path. There's the other pond. You can see the water there, looking very pretty under the trees. Another candle, and then on this side is the third pond, and the third pond has more daylight, so you can actually see these little seats, there's a cat statue, lots of plants, rocks. These rocks also block out all the buildings on the neighboring property, so you can't see them. And as you can see, if you look carefully, you can see the very faint path to follow. Let's follow the path, and we get our first look at the completed house. It's very floral. It has flowers everywhere. And again, all the trees and everything around. Now this is a little moldy bench, as you can see. It's the start of the sort of, there's something weird happening here. But if you're a hungry child, like Hansel and Gretel, you will see, first of all, I don't know, what would you call those? In South Africa we'd call them Smarties. In other parts of the world they could be M&Ms, shouting loudly to come and get some food. We have the tower and a very strange looking little house. Now if we look back here, there's nothing, there's no civilization. Everything is literally just covered with trees and flowers. It looks actually very pretty if you take it at face value. Lots of flowers. There's a little candle here. There's a cat statue there. And if you come up the stairs that look, I try to make them look like chocolate bars. And then we have the donut trees. the M&Ms, and then the candy window frames. Now, we do have a cupcake there, which I put down and I've never been able to pick up. So that is just part of the house now. But these cupcakes are available to eat. There they are. Those move. This one, you can't select it. And of course, the gingerbread house. I have put a light here. And if you look in the door, you will be able to see a table all set up with delicious food. We have cakes and cold drinks and burgers and cookies and pie. And on this plate is a hot dog. I mean, yum. There's even a place to sit down and rest your weary feet. There's a little chair and a big chair, depending on how big you are. There's a kind grandmother on the wall. And then we start getting the first thought that there's something is wrong. Because over here, it looks like the door is open. And there are little footprints running outside. And as we step further in, oh look, there's somebody who's been shoved in the oven. And we have the kitchen. I have toned down the lights in the oven. They were just too regular and bouncing backwards and forwards together too much. So I toned that down a bit. We have a little children's bucket here, kids' watering can, pictures of cake, and kids' pictures, and a toy. And over here is a little, what are those things called? A ride-on pedal scooter, pedal bike. And then we come to the kitchen and we have a little bit of a thing. We have jars with all kinds of random stuff in them that you'll never quite know what they are. We have a pot cooking on the stove, and then we have a pot. Would you call it stew? Soup? Or something. And then we have a bucket of water there. And yes, that isn't real water, but because of the light, it does okay. And then of course we have the oven door closed, which is a problem. I'm going to have to open that again, but we'll worry about that at a later. In fact, you know what? I might just keep it closed. I can live with that. She is a witch after all. Or I can just make an oven. And I did cover up the stove because it was way too fancy to be here. I wanted it sort of the wood stove vibes rather than electric or gas stove. So these are my own knobs on the stove. Pots on the walls, and then we come here and you can see it's only open far enough with the key in the lock for a child to have escaped. No adult will be able to go through, so we're going to have to do some flying and walk in to the cupboard under the stairs. Now the cupboard under the stairs, as you see, has got some disturbing features. We have a plate with a slice of bread. We have a cup. and a mattress and a few boxes, and that's all there is. But this is still fairly clean, except for the mess here. So it still looks fairly normal if you don't look there. It looks a little weird, and it's done on purpose. The colors don't match, the patterns don't match, but again, this is a evolution of the house. I got the feeling that the house has evolved, but at its own pace. There are different color woods here. There is some semblance of a pattern, but it's strange. That makes sense. Now, coming down, here is a trapdoor, which obviously doesn't work because we don't have trapdoors in the game. But we have a trapdoor here, which will take us into the basement. Could take us into the basement. And then we have the stairs. Now, we have quite a few windows that are just inserted into the wall. And the bars, sorry, there we go. I might have to move them out a bit because they are a little janky. They could be magic bars. So these windows form part of the staircase, and it just sort of gives you a little vibe for the house. And then of course here you get to more of the slightly weird woods that don't match, and the house starts looking a little older, a little messier, more stains, more weirdness. The witch's bed, picture of the moon. Does that maybe look a little bit like the picture from Houseflipper 1 a little bit? It's not as green, but I thought I had to do the birch trees. And if you look out the window here, isn't that the perfect garden? And then we have this little tower here, which is weird, and it's okay because everything is a little weird in here. We have the bathroom, which isn't really anything fancy. And then we have many different kinds of wall, again, as if bits were painted at one stage, and then they were over painted, and then they peeled, and then they got a little bit weird. The toilet with the toilet roll, and of course not quite the right book, but ooh, Yellow, A Life in the Forest. And then of course we've got the basin, the wash basin, which is a bucket. We have the candle in a bottle, and then we have a bin with some gross fruit underneath here. I think this is a representation of the witch, you know, in one of her true forms. A little gross, a little bit confused about real life, but I like it. If we go back down the stairs and then out the door, which says welcome, by the way, we go around the other side of the house, you'll see that stuff starts deteriorating. The gingerbread is peeling, and the real house is sort of poking through here and there. Still a few plants, still a bit of gingerbread, but you can see it's starting to peel and the magic is wearing off slowly but surely. And more of the age is coming through. Then we come to the chopping board block with the axe. We have another door here that says private property, keep out, and it's boarded shut. We have some building stuff. We have a wheelbarrow and a couple of old moldy crates. And you can just see the peak of something on that side. And then we start seeing the first dead stuff. And if we come around here, you'll see this is the back of the house. The children don't really come around here, and it's very hard to get through here. And that's done for a reason. You can see the gingerbread house is definitely looking, if you look carefully, it's not exactly as well put together as one would think. And we have rocks here. If we go around the corner here, you will see there's a little shelter that's fallen down. We have a couple of disturbing things around here. We have a little cap, a shoe, some sticks and stones, and then we can come back here and here's the ponds again. Very pretty, but a little eerie. And as I say, if you look carefully at the gingerbread, it's not quite as perfect as it seems behind the pretty flowers. We're going to jump over these, and this is the basement. Now we've got a trapdoor inside the house. As you can see, there's a huge gap underneath there. Can you see that? So it's not exactly built perfectly. It's a little gross. And this is the basement of the house. As you can see, the green goop is slowly coming through. The earth is slowly reclaiming it. And there's a lot of broken bits just sort of sitting around in the basement with the lantern. And I have employed full use of the stains and the damaged wood. And you can see here, ooh, the one thing I don't want to do is leave that there. There we go. Earth slowly pushing through. And then we've got this door, which is stuck. We cannot walk through it normally, so we'll literally come through. And here we have a desert. We have a dead tree. We have a couple of live ones, but there's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. And more dead trees. We have a satellite dish for whatever reason, and an electric box. And that is literally powering, I think, 3 lights in the house. That's all it's doing. We have, I think these are called Jersey barriers. And then we have some disturbing markings on the soil. Now what I also wanted to do here is I want to randomly generate, I want to place, and I don't want it to be random, and I want the speed to be very low because there are things that I want to. Let's throw some cables. Start there. Those are very purple cables. Okay. I also want some hollow brick pieces and some rotten fruits. Okay, I'm going to just sort of be lying around. If she's been eating stuff and just randomly throwing it away when she's been here. Okay. We can only select one at a time. So let's chuck some. No. Yes, like that. Oh, what am I doing? Wrong button. We want some broken crates. Let's see, we've got so much. Plastic, no. Detergent bottles, no. Hollow. Spider webs. Oh yeah, I want some spider webs. I don't quite know where you can. You see, they only sit on the floor, which is quite unfortunate, isn't it? Well, it might sit there. Oh, yes. You sit there? No, you fell right through. And you just sat on top. Okay, let's take you away. Just random stuff lying around. Let's go through here, and I want to put some spider webs. Can I put a spider web? No. Moss. What does moss look like when you throw it? Aha! I can place it. Oh, no I can't. I can throw it. That's all I can really do with it. That's sad. Change direct, change distance, drop. Okay, control. It works. Maybe. Come on, there you go. Here. Distance. What am I holding? Is control rotate? Why are you not rotating? Let me just stay there then. Okay. Can we get past? Woo! Okay, that just made me feel funny. I thought we were walking. Okay, so I think I have done a fair bit. Actually, you know what else we maybe need is... where was that? Rubble pile. Wow, that's quite a lot of rubble. That is a lot of rubble. Okay, let's see. Will it fit over here? Yes, it will. Awesome. Broken. Tile. Ooh. One more. There we go. I love it. Awesome. Okay, no tile shards. Flattened boxes, no. Ooh, let's do some more rotten fruit over here, shall we not? Always good to have some rotten fruit hiding in the distance. Oh, that's interesting. That's sitting on top of the hollow block. A couple little pile of rotten fruit here. Okay, and then if we go this way through the garden, there are sort of paths, but they're not marked out. So we have this, we have either the stones or the brick wall which pokes through it, surrounding the entire property. As you can see, there are also places where you cannot get through on purpose, but you can squeeze through. There are gaps if you want to be adventurous. The whole garden has literally been landscaped to make this look interesting. And then this is the fence where you came in. If we follow this fence, there's our landmark, and there's the entrance to get out. So let me know what you think. What I'm going to do is, this is short, but I'm going to post it as a separate video. Obviously, simply because I want to showcase it. I mean, hey, I wouldn't mind a plushie of Bessie. That would be cool. Actually, that's a prize I wouldn't mind, is a third place plushie of Bessie. Or a controller. I mean, hey. But I'm not greedy. So guys, sorry about the short, but feedback please. I'm not going to post this just this very second. I am going to just walk through it again, put a couple more of the, I don't know if I want to put more footprints in the kitchen running out, because as you're walking up it might be a little spooky, and we don't want that first spookiness. We want that sort of feeling of everything's just peachy. So please let me know any changes you suggest, any additions you suggest, and I will definitely read all the comments, and I will probably upload this complete by early next week, let's say, because the competition closes on the end of the month, whatever that is. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, please consider subscribing. I really would appreciate it. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.